I'm working on the new toy project I told you I was gonna start with, but no, this one's the one I picked up yesterday. This is a used mini eRevo that a guy actually just walked up to me with at the hobby shop. He was in to get it fixed because he bought it off a guy that was barely used. The guy had one wreck and busted the front end, but now it's got all new RPM on the front. I was going to it had those installed already. I was going to fix the front end on the old one we had that I'm working on for a kid down the street. I'll show you that to y'all in a minute. And it's about the same price as on the rear as it is on the back. I just bought the wrong A-arms. Oh, hold on a minute. I think I accidentally, nope. Thought I hit the wrong button on this phone. I'm still getting used to doing these videos on the phone. I'm gonna show y'all how easy these miniatures are to upgrade. I was gonna fix his, but a whole set of front end or rear, I mean that's both sides, and y'all can see how good a shape this one's in. I mean, it's almost brand new. It was run once, and you can tell it was put up wet too, because every head, every screw on it got water in it when they used it. But the shocks need to be adjusted. But I fixed this body post this morning. Brand new body post is $5. But I figured out how they ended up breaking it. Right here, they had the tabs that go inside your bumper that lock these axle pins in. They had the tabs going under those screws. So the first hit it took, it bent it back and snapped them off. And I noticed it immediately when I went to work on it. Hey, hand me Austin's out of the bag. Yeah, I'm about to upgrade the rear too, because these RPM level, see it right here, RPM upgrade, composites. There's some kind of, they say on here what they're made out of, but RPM is much better upgrade to the stock ones that I'm fixing to do on this other one. This was Caleb's old one before he got the Sentin 4x4. But you can see what happened right here. And see, I put this old one on too, and the boy that had it hit hard. But these T-bone racing bumpers, it's hard composite plastic, really tough to break, and it makes for a great skid pad to protect that front bumper. And ever since I put that on for Caleb, this thing hasn't broke. I spent $30 on about 6 posts before I found, well, no, that was a nut. That was yeah, because see, those are 15, and I had to replace a set of those and 2 of these because Caleb kept wrecking this one. And we put that servo in to upgrade. Savox is a great servo company. And another thing that's wrong with mine that I bought last night is the Traxxas stock one has already gone out in it. Slides right out, pop a new one right back in. But I'm gonna put the 2 of these. I'm probably gonna upgrade this boy's too to the double, and I'm gonna put the double in mine also. And it gives it a whole lot more steering power. As you can see, it'll hook 2 arms. It's got a space already. And but his has got the double battery set up. But what I accidentally did, I went in there to buy a new front A-arm because he had a wreck and busted that. And I had to already put the drive shaft back in because it was falling out. I'm gonna run out of video here, but this is why I'm having to upgrade mine, because I accidentally bought RPM rears instead of front. So I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade my car, and then when I go this weekend, I'll fix his. I am using the second size in the set. I think it's maybe 2.0 millimeter. I think that's what the guy said in the video when he changed out the servo. And you're gonna need a flat head to pop the hexes off, and a 7 millimeter wheel nut wrench. Alright, we're back with the black and red Mini eRevo. The first screw you got to take out is this one right here on this lever. Ooh. Yep, my little weather girl over there. You gonna be a weather girl or you gonna be a cheerleader or weather? You can go to school and for a weather girl and be a cheerleader. But alright, pop that out, and then you gotta remove that little screw right there, holding your body post on. Because the body post actually acts as a retainer for your axle pins. I'll show you that in a moment. Alright, repeat on the opposite side. And then those hook on the bottom. I've already undone the top. I don't think I ever had to do the rear on that other one. Alright, so alright, let me just pause it because y'all can see which screws. These bumpers, they don't have to come off. These right here, they don't have to come off. These down here on the bottom do. Those actually act as holding on to your back plate, and then I'll show you the axle pins and everything. Alright, those screws are actually out, but there's two more right there by the big one. That's the retainers that hold them in, like on the front. So I'll take those out. Right down here. I'll take those out and come back after I have the bumper off. Alright. The back wing and bumper is off, but I've got to take the wheel off on both sides because I almost forgot about that. All that's got to come off in order to do the tips of those arms. See? Screws right into there. Alright, I'll be back after I get the wheels off. Alright, these wheels are 7 millimeter. Same as the bigger tent scale cars. So put it in there, turn it that way, and I'll be back when I get both wheels off to show y'all more. Alright, the wheels are pretty simple to remove. I mean, you take them off the hex, right? I think that's about a 10 millimeter hex. on these. Have to look at the, yeah, it's a 10 millimeter on these wheels. But what you're gonna need next, this next part is gonna be a little hard for me sitting down, and I'm doing this sitting here watching Dancing with the Stars with the kids, and but you just work it loose on each side, wiggle it just a little, and you have to pop it off that locking pin there. See the little slot in there that locks it into place? You have to pop it off that little slot down there. That might be one of the things I upgrade in the future, these to aluminum. They work a whole lot better when they're aluminum. And that's what locks the wheel on in there. These may be 10 or 12 millimeter. They might be 12. I didn't have to work on Caleb's a whole lot. We just bought wheels for it and put it on. But when you do that, and you get in there with your hex, you take those out, and you repeat on the other side. Those little ball discs pop right out. I'll show you more as I get in there. This is the first time I've ever had to get this in depth on one of these, because I didn't update the rear on the old car. But it's alright, and it's about the same process as the, taking the steering linkages out. Alright, before taking those off, these the skid plate has to come off, because it is locking that rear on and these arms. That's what protects your bottom axle pins from popping out. Your bottom axle pins aren't nearly as long. They're just that little bitty tiny one that goes right in there. There's another one in there somehow that's holding that on. See if I can flip it up. Oh yeah, I see. I'm gonna have to get in there with some needle nose pliers and pull those out. I need to clean it up a little bit before I put it back together, but see if now that I've got an example, see how easy that arm slides out. Oh, I forgot, I've still got that back axle pin on. Alright. See, it just slides right out. It slid out about halfway and it got stuck. Be back in a moment. Alright, while we're in here, it looks like all of these on the center dry shaft cover are going to have to come off, and then it just slides out of the front. Hopefully this front won't have to come out because that's hooked to your servo and everything up front, but it looks like the center's just going to pop off. So next task, and then it is too tight, so this one right here is going to have to come off, or at least loosen to take the pressure off of it. I don't want to take that one all the way off and have to adjust the, I don't know, it looks like it's easy enough to, well, because it's a short, it should be enough slide. See, so get that one out, and then all of that should slide right out. Once you have that out, these come out real easy. I took you actually get your good grip pliers in there, slides right out. Alright, I'll be back with the next step. See, when you do that, oh, this is the next step. I need to take that front pin out. See, the whole suspension assembly came right out, slid right out of the drive shaft. Then you don't have to mess with the output yokes. Alright. I'll be back with another step. And see, you can actually leave that outside one in and not have to take it out. You just have to remove those two arms. You don't even have to remove the whole drive shaft. Just unscrew those and match them up per side. Alright, I got the bottom done. They are labeled, and if it says left, it goes on the top side. This is the bottom A arm. But if it says left, you turn it up and the RPM faces up and the left. So I've got the two small pins back in their place. But these RPMs are made at angles and they're angular. It's kind of like steel in race cars. When you have a roll cage, it's made of angular steel or different things there. It gives it more rigidness and more toughness. And it's just the right amount of flexibility for it to rebound. They're much better upgrades than stock. The stock get dry and brittle and snap, and these take a whole lot more impact and a whole lot more wear. Alright, I'm going to do the next side. The only two screws that had to come out were these ball joints. The screw came out, that's it. And then you screw them right directly back into the arm. And then you put the push rods right back in, tie rods, whatever they are, right back in there. This one didn't even have to come off. But you just screw that one in, and when we're done, it goes up to the rocker. So it's the rocker arm. The one that hooks here goes top. I'll show you all that when we get closer to that point. I'll be back in a minute. You can put these on the lowest setting in a drill and just use the lowest speed and the lowest torque, and they will fit in your drill. If you got fingers like I do with arthritis and you're your hands start getting sore. Cause I mean, y'all can see that's a lot of screws. But it's a lot of fun though. Alright, I got this other side back on and hooked up. The dry shaft has a trick to it. It's keyed. This pattern is just a little bit different in one of the notches. And it only goes in one way. So I'm trying a different approach on this side. I put the bottom on first.
All over the place. So I was kind of, I don't know, it's very unpredictable what's going to happen on stage. It's just, every time we had some screw ups like today. So that was crazy. But we did.
Alright, if you look at this one, I've actually got it on backwards. If you're looking at it from the front bumper back, then this is the left side, this is the right side, and I've actually got them switched. I've got the right on the left and the left on the right. Just make sure you match your patterns. The curve right there is supposed to go out toward the rear end, and mine is going in toward the front. Alright, I'm going to switch these around and do that, but this seems like the easiest route to go right here. But I'm going to switch these around. Alright, be careful while you're doing it. Oh, I forgot all about this one, the old one. But you've got to hold your motor while you're lifting this thing around, turning it upside down, because that actually holds it's probably not going to fall out. It's just real loose, but you'll have a hard time getting your screws back in there lined up for your motor and transmission mount. So, alright, that's one side. See, the curve needs to face out, and the notch needs to face out. And if you got them lined up correctly, I made a mistake on the last one. It'll say left on the bottom, and the RPM logos will be on the bottom. And, don't know if I showed y'all, but your 2.0 wrench, I showed y'all, but it will go up in that hole right there. Let me set this down. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's a hole that goes up in there. They're locked in, so the ball joint doesn't come out of here. It pivots and screws into there, just like that. Alright, before you put the rear back on, all the stuff on the rear, you have to put this piece back on. But these 4 screws on this end are the same size. These 2 in the middle are medium, and these 2 right here are your longest ones. I didn't take these all the way out. I left them just barely in so I could slide it up under this and tighten that down. And then you tighten your servo screw back down. But you slide these in, tighten those in just enough to hold it, put your motor mount in, put these 2 in the end first, these, and then start tightening them up when you get them all in. But don't tighten them all the way down at first. Tighten them all down when you get them all in. Alright, before you put all 4 of these screws in, I was lucky enough to find out that you can just take those 2 out and put this aluminum plate back in there over those bottom 2 axle pins, and then it's slided where to just snap over it. Let me lay the phone down here a minute. See there? Put that blue aluminum plate back on there. Snap it in. And then you gotta match up your screws to your push rods. Well, those aren't the push rods, those are, well, if they were on the front, they'd be steering buckles, but turnbuckles. Okay. So I'm gonna put those back in and come back. Alright, now you wanna push the push rod back in. You wanna push it through the top of the arm and hook it up down at the bottom first. And then line it up with the rocker and tighten it down. Get it snug because this has this plastic, lock it in there, snug. Repeat it on the other side. I'll show you what I mean. You want to turn it that way and slide it through here down to the bottom and then line it up. The easiest way it looks to put this rear wing and bumper back on is to line that flat black tab up in the slot, slide it on, go in from the top first, put those 3 screws back in. First, the one you're going to put in is the set screw. Is this little, you probably saw when you took it off at the beginning if you're following the video. You use this little short screw, the shorter screw first. Alright, put your lock screw in just to get it set in place. And then you're going to have to rotate it back around to screw in your tie rods now, because you got to line them up, and then when they're set, go back up top and put these 2 screws in to lock that tab in. Sometimes when doing shock parts and suspension parts like this, it's always good to have a smaller Allen wrench. It'll fit through the hole and through several, sometimes 3 or 4 layers of different setups just to get the screw hole lined up, and then carefully slip it out and slip the screw through there. They got this design right when you put these screws back in here. They give you just enough room to get down in there with the screwdriver, hex driver, and tighten that one down.
Is exactly what I'm actually doing. Living Up Together premieres Tuesday, October 16th on ABC.
Just get it snug, it don't have to be real tight. Alright. Last thing I'm going to do is put the wheels back on. Turn it till it. Alright. I dropped it right down on there perfectly now. I think. Put your wheel nut back on both sides, you'll be all buttoned up.